So Yeo-eun wonders what she should do and considers making something up to go unnoticed. She imagines saying that the balloon she saw was for a university project, as she needed it to write a marketing report. But she creates another story and says that she actually bought it as a charm, since there is a superstition that carrying it helps with exams. However, in the present, Yeo-eun considers those excuses to be terrible. She concludes that it is ridiculous and that lying would be very pathetic and mean. She believes that the best option is to be honest about what she was thinking at that moment, even if it means being scolded. So she starts to speak, but Hae-in interrupts her and asks if she can say something first. He clearly gives her the floor, so she says that what she wants to say is not a big deal. But there is something she wants him to know beforehand and reveals that, for a while, she plans to keep some distance from him. That leaves the young man surprised, and he then asks why. She explains that she realized she feels no tension when she is with him, especially the last time she was drunk. But still, she thinks that maybe it is because when she was younger, she used to hang out with her uncle's bandmates, always talking about music. She concludes that she assumed she played around with him without much caution and, without realizing it, crossed a line. So, for now, she thinks she needs to put distance between them. Yeo-eun remains silent for a few seconds and then asks if it is because of the balloons he bought. She looks at him and then starts laughing, saying that maybe that bothered him. She confesses that it caught her off guard, but she wasn't annoyed. Considering the party atmosphere that day, it wouldn't be surprising if he felt that way. Besides, they are both adults. But then she adds with some teasing that she didn't expect him to consider a one-night stand. That catches him off guard, and then he apologizes for it, explaining that he didn't suggest drinking for a one-night stand. Hae-in, mature as always, understands what happened and adds that, in any case, that's not what she meant by crossing the line. Since whatever happened, it was not a big deal. That leaves the young man confused, and he questions what she means then. Hae-in then shrugs and reveals that it's because he is too unbearable, saying this while hiding part of her face and blushing. Yeo-eun, upon hearing that, asks what she means. The woman asks him to think about it, referring to the things he did that night. Recalling that he barged into someone's apartment uninvited because he wanted to drink, shamelessly borrowed clothes, and slept in the bed while the host had to sleep on the sofa. She concluded that everything she had done was detestable and unbearable. Yeo-eun looked at her for a few seconds, then laughed and asked if she was referring to those things. Hae-in replied that she was so happy while drunk that she didn't realize what she was doing, but when she woke up, she really felt bad about it. That's why she ran away without even saying goodbye, apologizing for her behavior. Hearing all that, Yeo-eun thought it was surprising since Hae-in had always been cool and confident, as if she didn't care what others thought of her. But now, seeing her regretful, embarrassed, and apologizing in that way, it seemed unexpected, and maybe because of that, he found that side of her very cute. That led him to turn away to try not to laugh, making her curious about his reaction. Then she said that, anyway, she wanted to keep some distance because of those rude things she had done, and that if she stayed close, she might do something similar again. Letting him know that she might not return to that station for a while. Hearing that, Yeo-eun exclaimed that that wasn't right, moving even closer to Hae-in. She asked why it wasn't right. Yeo-eun blushes but manages to find words he had never said before. He exclaims that Long Afternoon might release a new song soon and that he would like to talk about it, especially with her. Hae-in looks at him deeply and, with a hint of irony, mentions that if she stays close, she might do something stupid again. Besides, she reminds him that he already knows her drinking habits and that she might even do something worse. However, Yeo-eun asks her not to worry about that, assuring her that he can handle any action she considers rude. He even adds that he can also accept her mischievous jokes and antics when she's drunk, begging her never to stay away from him. She is left speechless until the station announces that the next train is arriving. Hae-in, happy with what he said, asks if she can choose the snacks next time. This leaves Yo-eun somewhat confused, but she explains that when she returns home, they have to drink together again, and that's why she wants to be in charge of choosing the snacks. Yeon, radiant with happiness, exclaims yes, and that it sounds like a great idea. This also makes Hae-in happy. Then, she stands up and tells him to keep what he bought last time, as they might need it soon. Yeon is confused about what she means, but he quickly remembers the balloons he bought, although he doesn't think that's it. With a look from the girl, she clarifies that she means the beer. Hae-in arrives home, and while taking off her coat, she thinks about how relieved she is that Yeon wasn't upset, as she feared he would hate her. However, she realizes that although he has forgiven her for her rudeness, her embarrassing actions will not disappear, leaving her blushing at the memory. She throws herself on the bed and hides her embarrassed face in the pillow while wondering why she acted that way, thinking she must have looked like a perverted monster. Then she reflects that if she hadn't fallen asleep that time, maybe something would have happened, imagining the whole scene. This makes her very embarrassed, and she quickly sits up, questioning what she is thinking and calling herself stupid. She concludes that she should take a shower and focus on composing herself. She grabs her phone and sees that she had sketched a melody earlier in the practice room, so she decides to work on it. But before reviewing the sketch, she notices she has a direct message. She wonders what it is about, and whether it is really his account and not a fake. Her surprise grows when she realizes that the message is from Sung Hyun-jae, who proposes a collaboration and asks her to let him know her thoughts on it. After that, in the recording studio, Hae-in is playing something. Then she pauses and remembers the message she received yesterday from Sung Hyun-jae. She confesses to herself that she ended up overthinking it and couldn't respond. She wonders what she should do since, considering Sung Hyun-jae's music style, collaborating sounds fun. That's when someone knocks on the studio door and she gives permission to enter, revealing her uncle, who asks if she is still practicing. Hae-in responds that she is about to finish and asks why. He replies that he is ordering dinner for that night and asks if she would like to eat some spicy tteokbokki. The girl, upon hearing what he is ordering, confesses that she hadn't planned on eating something spicy, but in the end, she totally agrees. So the food arrives, and her uncle comments that it is delicious, declaring that tteokbokki is perfect when he's stressed. He asks her to eat quickly before it gets cold, which she does. But while eating, she wonders what she should do and feels that it's rude to respond so late, so she needs to decide something quickly. Her uncle thinks she is not reacting because it's not spicy enough, wondering if he should have ordered the infernal spicy flavor. But she replies that it's not that, and explains the story about the collaboration. Her uncle, upon hearing that, expresses that it's a great opportunity. She responds that it is, but it was so sudden, and that's why she's a bit hesitant. The man asks if he made any irrational request, but she responds that it's not that. It's just that this person is truly a successful musician. And if they collaborate, eventually, she will feel like she's in the spotlight too. Upon hearing that, her uncle understands that she worries about having her face recognized, and she reveals that she does. This leaves the man silent, and he reflects that he would say it's an unnecessary concern and would ask her to move forward in her music career. But that's what he would like to say if it weren't for everything that happened when she was younger. The pain she suffered, the wounds she carries, and how they still hurt. Even now, he doesn't know if she is still suffering or not, but he knows that all of that is still there. Although on the other hand, he hopes that she can overcome that pain quickly and spread her wings. From a musician's perspective, she is a truly talented artist. So he asks why she doesn't suggest meeting him to chat, as that might be better. He adds that, as a fellow musician, he might understand her position and could also help her find a solution. He mentions that even if they don't collaborate, they could get closer thanks to this opportunity, leaving her deep in thought. Until her uncle asks to meet him to get his autograph, as they could use it for the studio's promotion. That seems to annoy her a little, as she considers it deceptive advertising. It's already the end of the day when Hae-in thinks that she spent the whole day looking for a solution to that issue when she was supposed to adjust the guitar line for the new song today. That's when she sees an advertisement featuring a woman and reflects on how the celebrities and rock stars she admires endure people's opinions and keep going, questioning how much courage it takes to overcome that pressure. She wishes she could share that bold spirit. But then her thoughts are interrupted when she sees Yo-eun making a funny face. This leaves her speechless for a few seconds, and then she asks what he is doing. Noticing her, he explains that there was a special employee program today and that he was reviewing the interview training he received there. Anyway, she questions what he was just doing, and he explains that it was an expression practice, meaning he was practicing a natural smile to make a good impression. Hae-in asks if she can take a look at the brochure, something he confirms, clarifying that it's nothing special. Upon taking a closer look, she asks if he has to pay attention to so many things just for an interview. He nods and says that there's even more to prepare. He also has to create a story that fits with the company and present himself according to trends, which is quite annoying. She thinks for a moment, then asks if he wants to try something. He questions what. She explains that now she is going to make him talk without avoiding the interviewer's gaze. He is a bit confused at first, but then questions how he is supposed to do that where they are. She responds that it's simple, and she will ask any question and he just has to answer. She clarifies that, of course, if he avoids her gaze, he is out, and she asks if he understood. The young man questions if she really wants to do that there, confessing that it's a bit embarrassing. But she asks what's wrong with that, and it's not like anyone else is around, something he confirms. So he asks to do it quickly, and she says she will start. But first, she looks at him and notices that he has a different gaze. She thinks that it has been a while since she last saw his serious face, but then she believes it is the first time she has seen him this serious. She thinks that this look is probably Yo-eun giving his best effort. She adds that when he enters the interview room, she is sure the world will see him with a very serious expression, conveying the feeling of giving everything he has to move forward. Then she imagines him in the interview room, wearing a semi-formal suit and with his hair slicked back, wanting to see him, blushing because of it. But then, he breaks that imagination by asking if she is not going to ask a question. Leaving her surprised, she then says that she was thinking about something for a moment and will now start asking. She starts with something simple, wanting to know when his last kiss was. Yo-eun is surprised and quickly gets into character, questioning what kind of company asks such a personal question. But Hae-in argues that they might throw some unexpected questions, so they must practice those situations. He responds that no one asks that kind of question and that this is not a drinking game, so she considers that boring and announces that he is disqualified. That seems to make him angry, informing her that he will report them to the employment ministry. That little scene amuses her, making her smile a little. So she says she will give him something for the interview. Showing him her pick, she says it is her lucky charm. Besides, she uses it on the guitar when she plays. She informs him that if he takes it, he will not make any mistakes because that pick contains the energy she puts into her practice. She asks him to take it to the interview to succeed. He looks at that small object, holding it tightly and thanking her for the gift, confirming that he will definitely take it to the interview. This makes Hae-in happy. On the other hand, somewhere else, Song Hyun-jae was working on something until he received a message. Seeing what it was, he was delighted, as it was long afternoon, replying that he would think better after the interview. He concludes that he is a unique person since he expressed the idea of talking face-to-face. And with that, we've reached the end of this week's chapter. If you made it all the way to the end, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this chapter in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so our community can keep growing and we can reach more fans like you. See you in the next video. In the meantime, if you're from the near future, I'll leave you the next chapter and a comic you're sure to enjoy. Thank you for being part of this adventure.